Hi, I'm Eric.
And I'm Caitlin.
And this is Dear Parentials, where we drop everything and read books from our youth. To relive our teen angst, we read The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Did you read this book for school?
No, definitely did not. This is like probably
I didn't either.
An honors or AP English, and I was definitely not in honors or AP English.
I've heard of it before.
Yeah, I've seen the movie back... Forget when I saw the movie, if it was in high school or college, but 2012.
Okay.
So I had to have seen it in college then.
Mm-hmm. It is the story of what it's like to grow up in high school. More intimate than a diary. Charlie's letters are singular and unique, hilarious and devastating. We may not know where he lives. We may not know to whom he is writing. All we know is the world he shares, caught between trying to live his life and trying to run from it, puts him on a strange course through uncharted territory. The world of first dates, family dramas, and new friends. The world of sex, drugs, and Rocky Horror Picture Show, where all you need is the perfect song on that perfect drive to feel infinite. I don't even know where to start here. So the book is a bunch of letters that Charlie has written to somebody who didn't sleep with somebody else's girlfriend or something like that.
And he just always writes them, dear friend.
Yeah.
That's so we don't know who he's writing to.
So that in and of itself is pretty weird. He is... I've described him as autistic, and not even trying to be mean in saying that. He does not understand social cues. Mm-hmm. He's very quiet. I mean, he's a wallflower, so he stands and he observes everyone.
Yeah. He does have outgoing moments, though. Like, he's very interesting in that sense, though, that once he is with people he is comfortable with.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And he does just kind of meet the brother
senior.
and sister.
I mean, he's a freshman, and his first two friends in high school are seniors.
And that, I mean, I can relate to that.
We should just start the questions, because the first question is discuss the format of the book, which we're already doing.
Why do you think the author chose to use letters as his narrative structure?
How did it affect the book in terms of the story and in terms of your reading experience? How would the book have been different if the author had written it in first person or third person? I personally like the letters. One, because, and when we talked in Goosebumps, we talked about how it was kind of written like a 12-year-old because it's kind of geared towards that kind of demographic. Whereas this, Charlie is a freshman. This is his first week of high school. He's 14. So the fact that they're written as letters, it is written like a 14-year-old. It's very much, you get the sense of him and his tone. We mentioned this in the Goosebumps episode as well. I don't like to end in the middle of chapters and things like that. So the fact that these letters were sometimes half a page, sometimes they were 2 pages, sometimes they were longer, 4 or 5 pages. But, as I'm reading, I'm like, I'll just read one more letter. It was kind of kept you reading a little bit more, personally. And as we've stated before, I do like first person better, and this was kind of an interesting take on first person because we only know Charlie's perspective. We're getting told it, but he's also lending him to describe what's happening better instead of him just kind of live streaming. He's also now interpreting what's happened because he's now telling someone about it, which I found interesting.
I found it interesting. I didn't find it realistic, which I guess it doesn't have to be. But
that he'd be writing letters to a stranger?
Yeah, I mean, maybe back in whenever this takes place, but
90s. Which I also liked is that all the letters are all dated. So the first one is August 25th, 1991. Yeah. So we know exactly the time period of when this is happening, which I liked.
I didn't dislike it. I didn't like it either. So, I don't know.
You didn't love this book, so.
No, it was not my favorite book.
No. Yeah, I mean, but knowing Charlie, this is not weird for him, though. And maybe he's not sending them to anyone, and it kind of alludes at the end. We read the 20th anniversary copy.
Yes.
So there was a bonus letter at the end, which was essentially the author writing a letter to us readers, thanking us, whatever.
And I think for the purposes of this episode, we're probably not going to go point for point through the plot.
No.
Because it doesn't really lend itself to that. There are things that happen that lead to other things, but it's disjointed in that way, which is fine because it's just a bunch of letters sent at different times.
Yeah. We are reading them chronologically.
Yeah. But still, it's like sometimes it's a day, sometimes it's a week, you know. So he's not consistent with that, which, again, it's fine. But the narrative structure, I would say, is atypical. Because the climax happens a few pages towards the end, or what I would consider the climax.
Yeah, or the twist,
Yeah, which we'll get into that. The book would have been much different if it was a first or third person's perspective. I don't think it would have worked as well.
No,
I really don't.
I feel like the point of this is to kind of have you connect with Charlie, and I think because you feel like he's talking directly to you. It lends it to that.
Gotcha. Who do you identify with the most?
Honestly, Charlie, in a sense, because his description, I forget if he describes himself as a wallflower or it might be...
friends do.
I think
it might be the stoner guy.
Yeah. I said I both identify with Charlie the most and the least. So, like, I can relate to his shyness, the fact that he started school, he doesn't really know who to talk to. He overanalyzes everything. And yeah, he's a wallflower. You see things, you keep quiet about them, and you understand. Patrick to Charlie, which I can completely relate to, you know. I wrote, page 151. I feel like that's maybe when he steps in and beats up that kid for...
Yeah, Charlie is also randomly, like, Jet Li.
Yeah.
He can beat people up.
Yeah.
He can beat multiple people up in, like, a 3-on-1 fight.
So that's the thing, like, his, like, more quiet, reserved side I identify with because, he overanalyzes everything. He pays attention to everyone. The whole Christmas scene where he got everyone such thoughtful gifts and things like that is something I strive to do. If I'm giving you a gift, I want to make sure it is something that's meaningful and you know that I thought about it. But again, then... on the flip side, like when at the beginning he knows that one football player I think potentially raped that girl and he sees him in the parking lot and he slashes his tires. He beats up that other kid in the cafeteria for going after Patrick. So that I don't relate to at all. Kind of that more when he goes off the wall a little bit. And his whole family dynamic I don't relate with either. But yeah, Charlie would be, I think, the most.
I mean, yeah, I certainly don't relate to anyone else other than Charlie. Most of my friends, when I was in high school, were not in my grade. I was pretty much, it was all juniors and seniors. Yeah. So. Yeah,
it was just him.
And then when they all went away, which they didn't. They didn't go to college. They pretty much all, well, some of them did. A lot of them stuck around. I get a lot where Charlie's coming from and like not being able to connect really with his family. What did I see of myself in Charlie? Just that. I don't know.
You really didn't like this.
I did. Oh. Because like it's just letters of high school shit.
Teen angst, yeah.
I'm 34. I don't care. I used to be in high school, and you know, looking back as a 30-year-old, and I mean, this was also, we have a gay friend who was out when we were in high school, and you know, a key point in the book is that one of Charlie's friends is gay. And so is the captain of the football team. The quarterback of the football team. But of course, they have to be in secret, and it's a whole conflict.
Because Charlie's friend's out and open with his sexuality.
Right. But the quarterback can't. I think the quarterback's dad beats him up for being gay, which is so sad. And it's good that most places in America have moved on from that. That was just sort of a normal thing by the time. Yeah. Because I remember we went to a Unitarian church and the pastor was gay and was adopting kids. So I was always around gay people. I think most people are around gay people. It's just sometimes you, you know, it sucks that it was so unsafe for Patrick. But, you know, being friends with, I don't want to say, what's the word? Not minority, but persecuted. Parties and stuff like that. Yeah. Because the reason that Charlie gets into that big fight is because their quarterback Patrick and his friends are yelling a pejorative term for gay people at
Patrick.
And I think it escalates, and Charlie basically puts him down.
Well, yeah,
John wicks him.
Yeah, they're beating up Patrick, and Charlie steps in.
Charlie steps in and stops it. And super sad too, because I think Patrick and the quarterback, they love each other.
Yeah, the only reason I feel like that happened after, I think the quarterback, I don't know, we can't remember his name.
Yeah, it's not important.
Not important, but
because he's more of an archetype than.
Yeah, I think his dad finds out about him and Patrick, and he
beats him up.
He's like not in school for a decent chunk of time. So then when he comes back, he's kind of trying to distance himself from Patrick, both for his own safety and for Patrick's. But then that turns into him and his teammates ganging up on Patrick, which sucks.
Charlie really doesn't judge people.
No.
Which is a good characteristic. I would like to say I don't judge people. I do. It's just, sorry guys, we live in a world where people get judged.
Yeah.
You're going to be judged. So it is what it is.
But it's not that you don't treat them differently, though.
No. And I'm more talking from like a customer service standpoint. I judge strangers all the time. All the time.
Yeah, that's different than this.
Yeah. And again, is Charlie as a character, is he sympathetic?
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. No.
Well, it's also it says would you be friends with Charlie? Why or why not?
I would not, because it seems like Charlie is, he would be hard to have a conversation with just out of the blue. Which is why I probably wouldn't develop into a friendship. And honestly, I would be like, that kid's quiet and weird.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. I probably wouldn't be friends with Charlie. I wouldn't be mean to him. But it also, Charlie has difficulty making friends.
Yeah. Because
his senior friends all leave to go to college, and he's basically alone at school.
I mean, he is. Yeah.
And, that sucks. But even I was able to make some friends my age after all my friends in high school moved on from high school.
Well, I feel like where you can sympathize with him is that, one, in middle school, he had a friend commit suicide. Hopefully not most people can relate to that. But point is that he kind of had trouble making friends even at that middle school level, which I think a lot of us struggled with that. Thankfully, I'm a bit of an anomaly where my core group of friends have been friends since like kindergarten or third grade.
Your parents are friends.
And then our families are friends, yeah. So I did not realize how weird we were until I got to college, and most people's core group more started in high school. So I think the fact that Charlie had a rough time in middle school, which then kind of bled into his high school, is a pretty relatable thing to most people. Also teaching middle school for a number of years, I witness it now as an adult, that if you don't really find that group right away at middle school level, it is hard to then find it. Charlie also, though, went through a lot of, between that friend committing suicide and what we find out later with his aunt, like that side, hopefully not a lot of people can sympathize with, but if they can, there's something for him.
Yeah.
But in terms of would I be friends with him, I think the fact that I am also shy, what did I say? Basically, I think if he ended up being friends in a group that I was also friends with, I could be friends with him, but would we, just the two of us, end up having a conversation and like spark a friendship? No. We'd end up being like friends of a friend that could turn into a friendship. Kind of like what happened is that he ended up being friends with Sam and Patrick. They pulled him into their friend group, and then he became friends with them. That I could see more happening, but would I actually be the one that ends up having the conversation sitting next to him in math class, and then we end up being friends now?
He certainly was sympathetic, especially with his family stuff. Because and a big change that I've seen in society in general, and we've talked about it before, the whole, they like to call it parental alienation, but it's just putting up boundaries, like the grandfather, where he was like, well, I beat the shit out of my kids and then they didn't get bad grades, so I guess it was good that
I did that.
Like, he would not be invited to Christmas at our house. He can rot. Okay, you don't hit your kids. Doesn't matter. And nowadays, like, that wouldn't fly. He would be sitting alone on Christmas, slowly dying, because that would not fly in the slightest.
Which is what's interesting, that this book did not take place that long ago, but it is kind of interesting how much things have changed.
I
in
mean,
that regard.
34 years ago is a decent amount of time. I was born in 91. You're like, it wasn't that long ago. It is an entire me. My entire lifetime is
Still
the
delusional
period.
that the 90s were not 10 years ago.
Right. Yeah, I know. I get that. But it's hard to talk about our parents on here. But, like, I don't know. I wasn't super close with my dad. Or maybe he thought we were, but I just didn't like anything that my dad wanted me to do.
Yeah.
My parents had this mentality of, well, you can't quit anything. You gotta finish everything that you do. And like, no, you don't. You can just stop. It's fine. If you don't like doing something, just stop doing it. Mm-hmm. You're young. You're a kid. You shouldn't be wasting time doing a lot of things that you don't want to do. Also being like not knowing what to get your dad as a gift. That's always,
yeah.
I don't know. That's not the same for me. You just give me some Pokemon cards and I'm happy. Yeah. And the whole Christmas thing was super interesting too.
Charlie's whole family dynamic is interesting to me. Mm-hmm. That was one of the biggest, the most consistent note, I think, through the entire book that I was writing down was like, I can't decide if I like his family or not. Because sometimes I felt like they were totally ignoring him and he was kind of neglected. But then the same breath, they all did worry about him and they were asking him questions. And I just could not decide every time we ran into either his parents or his sister or his older brother. Yeah. Not that we saw the brother a lot.
There were moments where him and his sister got along.
Yeah.
Like when he went with his sister for her to get an abortion. Mm-hmm. He was very supportive and was very thoughtful. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't like her. And then, just like all the bickering and fighting and stuff. The fact that the dad had to pull over, let Charlie drive so the dad could sit in between them so that they would stop fighting. Are you looking at yourself as a parent yet? Yeah. Are you looking at yourself?
And these is a freshman in college and a high school senior. We're not talking about a 5-year-old and 3-year-old.
True.
Yeah. We're talking about basically grown adults that he had to separate.
And it's like you had this bad of a relationship before the guy went off to college. I don't know.
Which is what I also found interesting, too, is the dynamic between the older brother and the sister, because they're really close in age. Like, the brother had just left for college. It was his first year in college. And then the sister is a senior. So they're a year plus-ish apart, whereas Charlie's a freshman. So they had those two. And then 3 or 4 years later, they had Charlie. Mm-hmm. So that also, I think, creates some of the disconnect that there is such that age gap, which, is not larger than most normal, but the fact that the older two are so close in age, I think definitely played some role in that.
But you were right with what you said, that it feels often that Charlie's parents aren't really paying attention to him.
Until he's in crisis.
Until he's in absolute crisis. Mm-hmm. And then they really care. Yeah. So we've talked a little bit about how Charlie is, and I think this next question sort of brings it home. Yeah. Towards the end, Sam, who's the girl who has the brother Patrick, who's gay, Charlie is pretty much best friends with Sam and Patrick. Mm-hmm. Sam confronts Charlie before she leaves for college, pleading, "You can't just sit there and put everyone's lives ahead of yours and think that it counts as love. You just can't. You have to do things." Do you agree with Sam? How does this exchange relate to their relationship on a grander scale?
I think what she's saying is that the whole idea of you have to put the mask on yourself first idea, like in an airplane, you have to and the same thing where Bill, his teacher, right? His teacher's name is Bill. Yeah. The whole book, Bill's telling him to participate, like to get involved. And up to this point, Charlie is more involved than people realize because he is always listening, paying attention, but he doesn't always act on it, if that makes sense. So this whole time, like, he has had feelings for Sam and didn't really do anything about it. And I think she's...
You're right. Do you know why?
What?
Well, the one time he does act on it, he's such an idiot about it.
Which time?
Because he's dating this girl, Mary Elizabeth.
Yes.
And what are they doing, like Truth or Dare or something like that?
Yeah.
And they ask Charlie. This is the tism, okay? This is the tism showing up in Charlie, because they ask him. He's dating Mary Elizabeth. Okay, they ask him truth, and
no, they tell him dare to kiss the prettiest girl in the room.
Right, dare to kiss the prettiest girl in the room, and he goes and he kisses Sam,
who also has a boyfriend
in front of Mary Elizabeth,
who is Sam's best friend, one of her best friends.
Dude,
yeah.
What a dumb thing to do.
Yeah.
Anybody could tell you that. He is just...
Yeah.
He's got issues.
Yeah. That's
for sure. Sorry to interrupt that.
But. No. I was kind of rambling a little bit. I struggled with this question a little bit.
I think you're right. You're saying that she's saying he needs to do things for himself.
Mm-hmm. Not always be worried about everyone else.
But I disagree with her. You can't, you can't put everyone's life ahead of your own, but doing so for somebody is kind of love.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't...
I think she's basically saying don't be a martyr. Like, you can't just be like, well, I didn't do X, Y, and Z.
But he didn't strike me as somebody who was expecting anything in return. Usually a martyr is like, I did all these things. And it's like, well, nobody asked you to. So... I don't owe you anything because I didn't ask you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he pretty consistently puts everyone ahead of himself because he doesn't have, I don't want to say he doesn't have a personality, but
no.
You know what I mean?
I think he just doesn't always understand like social norms and stuff. Like, for example, when Patrick is broken up with the quarterback, he keeps going to like this park and hooking up with people, and Charlie starts going with him just as like emotional support or whatever. Patrick hasn't come with him, but then there's multiple times that Patrick kisses him and Charlie just lets him because he's like, it made Patrick happy and whatever. And not that Patrick was really trying to like make a move. It was just he was drunk and upset and decided to kiss Charlie.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of where Sam's coming from, where it's like, are you really helping him by letting him kiss you? And
can't just let people
walk on you and like be like, oh, well, that's because I love you that I let you do whatever you want to me.
But that does tie into the next question, which is Aunt Helen is a character that she's already passed away. She's
gone. Charlie was in like first or second grade. He was young.
Yeah.
When she died.
And she's mentioned throughout the novel, and he's always had such a very positive... His
mom's sister.
Yeah. He's always had a very positive...
She is his favorite person.
Yeah.
From what we know up until this point, like, she was the one person that got him, that paid attention to him, and...
got him extra gifts.
The whole thing, like... And how we keep saying we're going back and forth of whether we like his parents or not. She seemed to be the one family member that actually went ahead. And I feel like Charlie's birthday is like the day after Christmas. She always made a point of giving him a birthday gift and a Christmas gift and the whole thing. But come to find out...
First... Charlie goes to Sam, and Sam and him are like about to hook up. Charlie freaks out during that and goes home and basically is catatonic afterwards.
Yeah.
They go to the hospital and it comes out that Aunt Helen was molesting him the whole time.
We also know that she was molested as a child.
Right.
So that was the other thing too, is that like she was the aunt, wasn't married, had no kids. We found out that had happened to her as a child. So like they kind of gave her a pass for, not that she didn't have her life together, but that she had gone through a trauma.
Yeah. She kept like dating people that weren't great.
So she lived with Charlie's family for a little while.
Yeah.
When she passed away.
And he would always talk about, like, Saturdays, they would watch movies or something like that. And apparently that was around the time that she would take advantage of him. I don't understand... Well, I don't understand molestation in the first place.
Yeah.
But he wasn't even, like, going through puberty or anything.
No, I wasn't. Like, he was 7 when she died. Yeah.
So...
Because I wrote down, so she died on his birthday.
Yeah.
So she was in a car accident, showed up, they said that he died on, and he basically went into, at 7 years old, went into that, like, catatonic state.
Oh, I was talking about after.
Well, after with Sam, but when he was younger, too. He realized what had happened. It finally clicked with him. What really made me sad, though, is that the whole book, and this is what I was writing, too, that Aunt Helen, like, Charlie's family treated him and kept coming back, that Aunt Helen was the only one who got him and treated him fairly. She was a major positive in his life. So I thought that losing her, and that took that away from him, but this is why it was so upsetting to find out that all this negative stuff, and really probably a lot of why Charlie is the way he is, was what she was doing to him. And this whole time we thought that she was the one good thing through his whole childhood.
And it's interesting how that was his perspective as well.
I think that's when he was at that young age when this all happened, and why he kind of had that emotional response after he found out that she died. We thought it was because it was like his favorite person died, but realistically it was because, maybe...
Well, and the other thing is now she's dead, so there will be no retribution. There's really no way to get closure, and I'm sure for the parents that really sucks because
well, and they didn't find out.
They didn't know, and they've been taking him to see her grave, and
Well, that was one of the things he was excited about. Once he got his license, he started going to visit her grave on his own, because I don't know if the family didn't always like to go and things like that, because I think his mom, who was her sister, they kind of had a weird relationship, so I don't think she always liked to go. And again, the fact that she died on his birthday, which is the day after Christmas, it
was a pretty surprising twist.
Yeah.
I thought something was up, but
I did not see that coming.
I didn't see that coming. No. Well, because the whole book, you're kind of, like we said earlier, this happens in the last few pages. So the whole time you're just waiting for something to happen. Stuff happens, but it's not dire, and it doesn't explain
No, it's just kind of like
anything.
stream of conscious. Yeah,
this does sort of explain a lot of why Charlie is the way he is.
Yeah.
It explains a decent amount of stuff.
I think she had gone out to... She had went out to go buy his birthday gift or something,
which
and
is
that's
probably
when
why he feels.
Yep, she
guilty
ended up
about
crashing and dying while she was out.
Or we think that's why. He is.
Yeah. But then they took him to the hospital. I said, I wonder what happened that was bad enough that they immediately took him to the hospital. After he found out she died, he went into some sort of a state that they took him to the hospital, and then he was seeing a therapist all that time, and then his friend committed suicide in middle school. He's had a lot of stuff happen to him. 100%.
Yeah. So and her getting him extra gifts, that's a grooming technique. I still don't get it. I don't understand what she was doing with him. So that's really weird.
And poor Charlie.
I know. Well, again, doesn't seem like the parents were really paying attention to him very much. Moving on from that probably should have been the last question. After watching an art film with Mary Elizabeth, Charlie says the movie itself was very interesting, but I didn't think it was very good because I didn't feel different when it was over. Do you agree that in order to be good, creative works must make you feel differently? How do you feel after reading Perks of Being a Wallflower? I would say that depends. Because, Pacific Rim stuck with me, but I didn't feel any different. Well, I felt, hell yeah, brother. That's what I felt. Or Tron, right? The Tron Legacy. Great movie, but there isn't a lot of substance. It doesn't... my favorite movie, Annihilation, sticks with you. But does that mean that every good thing has to stick with you like that? I don't think so. I think if you're super pretentious, sure, but...
I think my thought is that I agree with Charlie that it should, if something is truly good, it should make you feel something, and it should somewhat change you, but the thing is that then good is up to interpretation by the viewer. So something that I feel is good is going to change me. You might not agree with me.
But you can be emotionally changed by bad art or bad creative
and have
works.
it stick with you,
and have it stick with you.
Give me an example.
I wanted to say The Room, just because that is such a slog of a bad movie, but iconically bad, and it does stick with you because you're like, how is this so bad from the outset? It's just, I'm trying to think of other movies that are probably objectively bad that can stick with you still.
Yeah.
And you think about them afterwards. Or an objectively bad movie that has some interesting things to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or
one of my specifically says that didn't really make you feel different when it was over.
Right.
And I guess too, when I was thinking about this, which is interesting that you're going to movies because it makes sense that you're thinking movies because he's talking about a movie, where I'm thinking about books specifically because I guess we were reading a book. This book, when we were done, I was done.
I'm bringing up movies, but just creative things in general.
Because I'm just thinking there's certain books where it's over, and I am like devastated that the book is over.
Right.
Because you've created this relationship and these feelings with something versus like something like this book. Like, was it bad? No. Like, I enjoyed reading it, but once I was done, it was...
So do you think this is not a good creative work then, if it doesn't stick with you in the way? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I think it was very good. Yeah, so it's like...
Things can be
good
creatively or bad creatively and still stick with you in some way. So I just disagree with that. And it is incredibly objective too.
Yeah, that was my main takeaway, is that yes, I think if something is really good, it should change you, but it's not going to do the same thing to every person.
Right.
Even things that have won awards and are like renowned as being amazing, it's still going to affect people differently. How did you feel after reading Perks of Being a Wallflower?
Well, it is a pretty decent, honest look into high school in a way that I think a lot of people who write about high school don't actually want to talk about. Me, I didn't drink or do any drugs until college. So I was around them. I did feel like Charlie for a lot of stuff because like all my friends were older and doing this stuff, and I didn't really like to.
You don't want to partake, yeah.
I didn't want to partake back then. There's a time and a place for everything, and it's called college. So that's what I did. What's that?
So that's your life motto.
Well,
that's true.
Get high school done. Figure out how to be a person, and then when you turn 18, experiment. Go out there, do stuff.
We'll leave it at that.
I could be more specific. I don't care. I don't do it anymore. I mean, what? Are my parents gonna talk to me? 34 fucking years old. I have a mortgage. I love when people are like, oh, don't talk about that around my parents. It's like, are they gonna ground you? What the fuck are you talking about?
In your own house?
You're an adult. Act like an adult,
Yeah.
That's like when I get, like, of course, when I was at college, I would get pulled over and be like, oh my God, do I have something in the car? And now which I don't get pulled over a lot because I drive a Prius. I can't. It's hard. I get pulled over by the cops and I'm just like, hello, gentlemen. What can I do for you? I'm not doing anything wrong. What are they going to do to me? I liked that it was pretty honest. Yeah. And I think that's why this is probably, it's on the banned books list. It has to be. There's an abortion in it.
And they talk about masturbating.
Oh, no.
I would have loved to read it in high school, though. Like, I'm so interested to see how someone living, like, who is 14 reading this.
Currently, a lot of it probably because they don't know how to send letters. The only reason, and P.S., the only reason I do is because I have to for work. I would never send anything in the mail otherwise. But yeah, so again, I didn't think it was good, but I think some things stuck with me.
Yeah, I think people should read it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Perks of Being a Wallflower grapples with a complex, universally difficult stage of life. What reflections did it inspire about your own life? What parts of the story resonated most deeply with you? We sort of talked about that. We can talk about it a bit more specifically. What about you?
No, hold on. I have my notes. I actually went through these questions beforehand. I
don't take notes.
Which I get.
And I just don't. I took notes. I just once I take the note, I remember it.
I know. Well, the thing is, though, I did this if I had done it yesterday, I wouldn't even be referencing.
I was just saying that was always my studying
text. Yeah, me too.
I took notes and then it's in there.
I mentioned this a little bit, but yeah, my core group of friends that I've known forever. Most of them I met in kindergarten. I mean, one of my closest friends, I've known since birth, and then I met the other. We kind of formed our group in kindergarten, add a few more in third grade, but the 6 of us have been together since third grade. So I don't relate with Charlie at all with that sense of, or just in that stage of, I had my core group by middle school and we are still friends to this day. What I do kind of relate with is that we graduated 8th grade with 66 kids, and then we went into our high school, which we had 800 plus kids in our class. So I remember starting high school being super freaked out like Charlie, in the fact that the chances of my friends being in my classes was slim to none. I had a few, but so having to then start over and make friends again I am the most socially anxious person, and even more obviously back in high school. So I definitely think that they did a good job of reflecting that of, okay, I guess I have to sit here and make friends and try to figure out how I'm going to fit into this group. But then once you do make that group, so I was in marching band in high school. So once I was in that, you're not going to make a comment. Well, I guess you were in chorus too. No nerd comment.
Have you seen my room? I don't have any. I can't talk. I have a Fire Ferrets poster.
I love that poster.
I know. It's pretty nerdy.
Yeah. But finding that group, kind of like how Charlie then found Sam and Patrick and in turn found a group of friends, then you do feel like you belong. Like you have to find that belonging. But I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah.
No, it's how it resonated with you.
Yeah.
So I can get that. I remember some things from high school, but I remember band practices like for the bands that I was in.
Not marching band.
He was in
a cool band.
Yeah. We were pretty cool. We won Last Band Standing.
You did.
In 2009. No, just one day, over 1 decade ago. I was going to say decades ago, but it's not plural. I don't remember a lot from being at school. I remember the places. What's that?
You've blocked out a lot of your entire schooling career.
Yeah, because it wasn't positive. I mean, for the most part. I don't even remember my teachers' names. I gone. Except for the ones I hated. Those I remember. And I remember because college was great. I liked college because I was taking classes that I enjoyed, that mattered to me. Mm-hmm. You can't force somebody to be interested, and that's all school is. I didn't really talk with people in my class.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the reunion.
Neither did Charlie. Unfortunately, I think high school or unfortunately, social media killed those. So there's no need for them. You're either you are gonna keep in touch with who you want to, and if you are interested in what other people are doing with their lives, you will just find them on Facebook.
At this point in my life, I A, don't care what anybody else is doing, and B, don't care what they think about what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. So there's really no point in going to a reunion.
And that is all the point of a class reunion.
Right, exactly. It's to rent a Ferrari so you can pretend that you're successful in front of all these people. Yeah, I guess it resonated with me.
I would say
it's a tough time.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say there aren't a lot of books that present it in a way that's real and accurate.
Mm-hmm. And not just some fantasized,
teen drama, like Twilight.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I can't pick between the two hot guys. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
That's really not what high school's like.
No.
Mean Girls comes close, too, in terms of that.
The social drama.
Coming-of-age story, the social drama. I think the most...
How do I fit in?
The most important things you learn in school, including college, are social.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that a lot of what you learn in the classroom you take with you, unless you're going to be a math teacher. But
we have different views on this, but
I know, but I guess language arts for me, because I can read, but I'm not saying you can't read.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, a lot of I'm pretty sure a lot of my friends don't read books. Maybe they do now. Throughout the novel, Charlie is reluctant to speak openly about the emotional challenges he is dealing with. Do you think that young people are more open to conversations about mental health and emotional well-being than they were in the early 90s when this book takes place?
100 times %.
Yeah, I'll defer to you because you deal with middle
schoolers, yeah. So I've been teaching 6th grade and some 7th grades for the last 10-ish years. And I think they are there's still all the regular stuff that's happening. Middle school still sucks. I mean, it's hard for it not to suck because these kids you're going through puberty, you're figuring it out, and you start caring about what you look like, and you start liking whoever and stuff like that. So it's never going to be an easy time in life, and now you throw social media on top of it. So I think is bullying and things like that still happening? Of course, but it's a little bit more probably online, which does suck, but kids are not afraid to then talk to an adult or go to the guidance counselor and be like, hey, such and such said this. Almost to a fault they are, which is good. I'd rather have more information and you be more open than not talk about things. And obviously some kids still are going to keep things to themselves. But I would say on the whole, it's definitely more socially acceptable to be like, something happened at lunch today that made me feel uncomfortable. Can I go talk to the guidance counselor? Whereas I feel like when I was in middle school, no way was I going to ask to leave class to go talk to the guidance counselor. So I just think it's more just socially acceptable to talk about your feelings and to ask for help than it was back then.
I'd agree, especially because I was the kind of person that would go talk to the guidance counselor, and then I found out that the guidance counselor told my mom that part of the reason why I was being bullied was because I asked for it. So that guy would have been fired.
Well, the thing is, like, so that's what's happening, right? Versus
he would
now,
have been fired in today's day and
well, it's
age.
against the law now. I mean, there is literally things in place where if someone reports bullying, there is a whole process that has to take place where there's interviews, they have to have, like, and there's a timeline. Things have to be done in a certain time. Things are reported to the state. Like, it is taken very seriously. The amount of times that claims of bullying actually are bullying is not as often as you would think, but the fact that it is taken seriously alone. And I think that's the thing too, is that when in this time period, in the 90s, things weren't taken seriously. So even if you did report it, that was kind of the blasé feeling about it. And
especially with guys, because it was kind of like, well, suck it up, sweetheart.
Right. You're not supposed to have
and
feelings.
they're trying to bring that back, which is just going to lead to more dead kids. I'm just being honest. Like, you know, I was suicidal in middle school. So obviously nobody was helping me with that, and nobody really did. I don't think, you know, my parents sort of took it seriously. There was an incident where I had to go to the hospital where they sort of started taking it seriously.
It's like a Charlie situation,
but
where it took to the point where a hospital had to be involved.
But even then, I don't think, I think they were of the mindset that I was just looking for attention. And that's the other thing, is that maybe I was, because I was like, help, you know? Yeah. And nobody did. And I do think my parents did their best, but the school certainly didn't. And the guidance counselor certainly didn't. Yeah. And I think there have been a lot of changes there. Again, I know that there are sects of, like, SECTS. There are groups of people who think that that's not a good thing. And to those people I say, you don't care about kids then. That's it. You don't care about your kids. You don't care about other people's kids. And it's this mentality that, well, I suffered, so you should suffer too. And that's stupid, because you want better for the next generation.
Not to mention, these kids are dealing with different things. Like, they
the
don't...
world is totally different. Totally different. The same where boomers say, well, if you need a job, go in with your resume and a firm handshake, and they'll just tell you to download the app. You know, like, and especially from our childhood to our children's childhood, it's a world of difference.
I mean, social media alone, like, these kids have a much different, like, now they have access to so much more alone. They are seeing these curated things that they think that they need to have, and that this is normal, and it's not, you know, just for social media. And hopefully we are starting to kind of point that out more. But going back to middle school, high school, like, little things were the end of the world, because you weren't dealing with any, like, that was your whole world. So yeah, maybe it is for attention, or maybe you are overreacting, but in your mind you're not. You're have hormones that you've never dealt with before, and it is your whole world. So I think it is important that people are talking more.
And you gotta, they are kids, and you're right, their problems aren't really problems, but they're people too. And I think a lot of people forget about that young people are their own people, and they are going through things. And when you minimize it, or ignore it, or say get over it,
they're never going to share with you again.
Never, no. And then there's a wall, I guess, similar to Charlie and his parents, right? Yeah. There's a wall there that goes up. We sort of got off topic. Yeah, more young people, I hope, are more open about talking to about their emotions, and I hope that there are more adults that are open to listening to them, not as a superior, but as like another person. Overall, it's an important book. Yeah. It's an interesting book.
Overall,
I think you should read it, but we'll get into the...
Yeah, I think it is one of those books that, it's a good perspective to read.
Yeah.
And I think it's good for kids now to also read it, just to kind of, I don't know, because it is relatable. Yes, what Charlie's dealing with is not someone texting you rude thing. Like, it is obviously different in that sense, but the feelings he has is still the same. Yeah. The drama is still the same.
So the characters.
You go first, and then I'll say what I said, because this is the first time you're really probably thinking about it.
It is. I'm between 3 and 4.
Okay.
And I'm trying to figure out, like, Charlie is a memorable character. And
Patrick's a memorable character.
Patrick's a memorable character.
We have a gay character in the 90s. Like, yeah, I feel like that's important. Yeah.
Sam is a memorable character. But that's it, I think, in terms of... I mean,
they are the main characters, though. Everyone else is...
The people in orbit. Yeah. So I'd do a 4.
Me too. That's what I said too.
I'm not. And at the end, I mean, there is some development, obviously. At the end of it, it's basically like, well, now Charlie has no friends. It's just kind of like, oh, great. It's unclear if the things that Sam said got through to him. You know, I don't know if he's developed more through this. I mean, probably.
Yeah, I mean, he knows something about himself that he was repressing.
Yeah.
I mean, at that very least, that there's...
Which could be a good or bad thing, I guess, depending. What was it? It was in Silent Hill. There's this note in Silent Hill 2 Remake, which I have a video on my channel about. There's this note where somebody's talking about these people who live inside these delusions. And it's like, they're happy there. Are we helping by pulling them out?
Was Charlie happy, though?
Is he? I don't think he's happier now. I mean, yes, you need to deal with your trauma and stuff like that. And obviously this was always something that was going to come out the next time he got physically intimate with someone. That's
my thing. That was what I was just going to say. Is that if he ever wants to have an intimate relationship, he needed to deal with this.
But throughout the story, you know, you need to... people keep telling him you need to engage, you need to be present, you need to do things. I don't know if he's... at the end of the book, he can say he's internalized it. I don't know if he did.
Yeah, I mean, he just really learned it. I think it's going to take a while.
So maybe there wasn't enough time to. And again, we did read the 20th anniversary that has an extra note. It's just a note from the author.
It's a note from the author.
It's a note from the author to everyone who, you know.
Thank you for reading my book. And,
and I'm sure this book has helped a lot of people, which is fantastic.
100%.
And it's cool that he was able to do that and sort of write it.
It's a conversation starter,
It's not in Charlie's voice. They claim it is.
Oh, the last
letter.
No. Oh, just side note.
It's a letter from Charlie.
I do not understand the parts. There are 4 parts to this book, and I don't know what purpose they serve. So that is completely unrelated to anything we were talking about. But anyway.
So the writing stuff. I guess this would really be preference-wise. Because it is it is a different writing style. Did you like it?
I gave it a 5.
You gave it a 5.
It was interesting, memorable. It kept your attention, enhanced the reading experience. Yeah. Okay. Like you said before, this book would be completely different if it wasn't written in letter form.
I will say it's interesting. It's just not a book that I would... I am not chomping at the bit to read it again.
Yeah, I get that.
Observe it again.
No.
You know, Charlie's writing isn't very good.
Because he's a 14-year-old boy.
Okay. Yeah. Still not very good. You know, I know it's like the Goosebumps.
But my thing is that, and same with Goosebumps though. Like,
we gave Goosebumps a 3 for writing style, didn't we? Good but not exceptional.
Yeah. Here we are for a second. Right. So my thing though is that this intentionally though, it's written like a 14-year-old is writing these letters, right? So that means this author had to intentionally write it as if he were a 14-year-old boy. Not with his whatever literary background he has. I'm saying, he. You know what I mean? Whereas Goosebumps, like, yes, it's written in, like, the vibe of a 12-year-old, but, you know what I'm saying? Not to mention, The Haunted Mask was written in third person. So it did not have to be written that way. This was specifically made the point of, I am going to write it in letter form as if I were a high schooler. I think that's interesting and memorable.
Okay, I'll give it a 5. Fine.
I twisted your arm.
I'm just not... don't know. I get what you're saying, and you're right. It is interesting.
It's unique.
It's different. It's unique. So for that reason, I'll give it a 5. But did I like it? I don't think so. I don't think I enjoyed it being a... But there was no other way to do it and make it work.
No.
But, all right, plot. This is a hard one.
Mm-hmm.
Because there wasn't really a plot. There wasn't a story. It wasn't your typical structure.
No conflict resolution, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I gave it a 3.
Yeah.
It was okay with moments of intrigue and moments of boredom. Because there were some letters that were, like, unnecessary.
Yeah.
Which was kind of the point, I think, that he was like, oh, I haven't written to you in a few days. Like, this is what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Because, I mean... It also wouldn't make sense that every single thing he was like, that's not realistic, that someone's life is constantly interesting. Mm-hmm. You are going to have moments of boredom, but...
Yeah. But it wasn't... Mm-hmm. It was average.
Yeah.
In terms of the plot itself.
Mm-hmm.
For intrigue and enjoyment, I would give it a 4.
Let's see. I gave it a 3.
Wow.
I did.
Because I'm looking at what the things for 3 is. It said the book was good, okay, good parts, but nothing exceptional. There were some exceptional parts.
Yeah, that's true.
In terms of, the plot twist about Aunt Helen was really, really good.
Yeah, it was.
And very much gave you a little insight into the mind of a person who has been molested at a very young age. Mm-hmm. And has nothing but positive memories about the molester. And I think that's a really interesting point to drive home.
Yeah.
And one that's tricky. Mm-hmm. But I think it actually did it exceptionally well.
Yeah.
And pulled it off exceptionally well.
Well, you're usually someone who kind of figures these things out before they happen. So the fact that it still, I mean, like you said, you've felt something was about to happen, but the fact that you didn't call it, I think is pretty...
Not for Aunt Helen.
No.
Okay, because it gives you a good red herring in the fact that, like, she died because she was going to get a gift for him.
Charlie, yeah.
So that gives him the guilt that could probably be emotionally stunting him now, but to have it be that...
Yeah.
Mostly because, again, I don't know what a grown woman is going to do with a 7-year-old boy. I don't understand that.
No. And we don't know how long it was going on prior to that. He was 7 when she died.
Right.
So, I mean, how long was it going on prior to that?
Just gross. But
so that gives it a solid 4. 4 out of 5 stars.
Yeah. Higher than I would give it overall, frankly. I don't know why. I think it's the letters. I prefer...
I think it was half the content, too. You like stepping back from it and what it is as a piece of literature you like, but the actual reading of it was not enjoyable for you.
No.
And, like, the scenes where he was, like, I don't know, just being a regular 14-year-old boy. It was like, why did we need to know about that? But it's because we're reading letters from a 14-year-old boy.
I know. It was like, I'm trying to equate it to like a video game. In L.A. Noire, which was a game the people who made Grand Theft Auto made. And you're like 1960s L.A.
Okay.
And you go to the homicide division.
Okay.
Like cheat on your wife. And then they knock you down to arson. And it's right at the end of the game, and it is the most boring fucking part of the game. So much so that I don't even remember beating it. I was just like, this is boring.
I'm done.
This is boring now. It's that, but in book form. I just wasn't super interested. And again, I'm far away from high school. I'm far away from college.
Yeah. I
think there's a few people who have difficulty admitting we're not kids anymore.
No, we've been out of there for 10 plus years.
I know.
I do wish that one of us had read this in high school.
Well, I remember liking The Catcher in the Rye, and everyone hates
it's on the list.
It is on the list. So I did start reading a page of it, and I was like, I fucking hate this already. So
I did not like it back when we read it.
Yeah, you weren't. We just covered about why you weren't an angsty teen. Your family is close. and nice, and you have had friends since you were born.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sorry.
So, sorry.
Yeah, it's on the list. If there's any requests you guys have, but
yeah, if you want us to read a book, we have a bunch.
Yeah.
That I would say are pretty typical in terms of.
Should we? I don't know if we should tease them or not.
Well,
we're up past our bedtimes right now.
Yeah, I mean, we can say like it's stuff like Catcher in the Rye, A Wrinkle in Time,
The Giver. Stuff that you think back and you're like, oh yeah, they made me read that book.
Yeah. And we do want to see if we like them better
as adults
without it being forced on us.
Or vice versa. Did we enjoy reading it as a kid and now we're reading it now and we're like, why?
Caitlin disagrees with me, but when you force kids to do things, they wind up hating it. And that's why...
They do book clubs differently now. We were forced reading. Now they give them choice.
Great.
Focused choice, but choice.
Well, I think that's enough. I can stop thinking about
Charlie.
This book.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for listening.
Thank you. We'll be back next month for this.
Right.
Don't know what other content will be coming out at this point.
Yes. Oh, check out the YouTube channel.
Yep.
Parentials.
Instagram. Spotify.
Mm-hmm. We will have more YouTube content soon.
Yep.
It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
we have 2 small children, and he works full-time.
And you work part-time.
Yeah.
And I also help Why Wasn't It Better? Shout out Why Wasn't It Better? It's a great podcast, great guys.
Go listen to it.
I'm their producer, so I work with them. And then I also have my own channel called Aliens in the Doghouse.
Also, especially if you're a video game person,
yes,
you definitely go check it out.
Video games, video game analysis. If you like long-form content, because I know I don't like picking something out. I want to find a 2 or 3 hour video about something. And that's what I do. It takes way too long, though. So that's why.
So we're figuring it out.
We're working on it. But thank you for sticking with us.
Yep.
I'm Eric.
I'm Caitlin.
And this is Parentials. Good night.
Good night.